How does she do it? How does she do it? Day after day, week after week, year after year. Was it something I said? How does nature heal? How does... That's God calling. Calling you back to hear the sermon. I'm starting again. How does she do it, we ask? How does she do it? Day after day, week after week, year after year. How does nature heal? I think of a cloudy, cool, late afternoon on the coast of Maine not too long ago. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I was feeling good that day. I wasn't. It had been a long time since I'd really felt connected to my source of life and joy. Stress, schedules, demands, a dark depression that just wouldn't lift, and nothing really seemed to help, and God knows I'd tried. And then nature reached out and called, and I responded. At Acadia National Park, on Maine's stone-crusted coast, I parked my car, climbed over rocks big enough to crush a house, eased myself further down, 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 and crouched close to the surge of the sea. I watched. I waited. I listened. I touched. I touched the surge and the power of something so much stronger than myself. An aggressive wave broke higher and closer than expected, spraying me with its coldness and its depth. Wet with salt water, I felt washed clean of the dread and listlessness that had saturated my soul. The waves of my own despair were absorbed and absolved in the ebb and flow of the surf's eternal tides. In the natural, the purely natural mystery of that moment, I was transformed. I was healed. Poet and farmer Wendell Berry writes these words, often quoted in Unitarian Universalist settings. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life or my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of water. And I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. I rest in the grace of the world and am free. A sunrise, a cloudless sky, a bird song, a breeze, that silence before dawn, the feel of sand or soil between our toes, it's all free. It's all freeing. These natural things wait to rescue us from our technologically fragmented selves, our overwhelming commitments, and our overburdened lives. We're creatures descended from ancestors whose natural habitat was not in houses or buildings, but in meadows and mountains, fields and forests, seas and rivers. We are animals whose natural roaming ground is not the aisle of the supermarket, but the path along a river's edge. We are beings whose natural inclination is not to dance our fingers across a computer keyboard, but to plunge our hands deep into the dark skin of Mother Earth. A walk in the woods, 5 minutes on the back porch, a moment in the autumn sun or the autumn rain. These recall us to our natural selves, to our best selves again. It isn't magic. It's just natural. We don't need to drive to a national park in Maine to find this. The Reading Town Forest, the Middlesex Fells, the Ipswich River, our own backyard. We can be old, maybe a little wobbly, but we can still sit on our porch and look and listen. Our eyesight may be dim or even destroyed, but our ears can sense the natural symphony playing around us. Our hearing may have left us, but our skin can be kissed by butterfly and breeze and bountiful rain. A wheelchair can be rolled to where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water. A cane can carefully carry us to where the great heron feeds. A tired child can be invited to hold our hand and explore the peace of wild things. An iPhone, a BlackBerry, or a pocket calendar can schedule 15 minutes amidst the natural grace of the world. Nature is waiting for us to enter her. Will we let her rocks support us, her waters refresh us, and her night skies enlighten us? Margaret Siff, a thinker of things religious, stares up at the Milky Way overhead and writes, "Here is a star-filled night. I wake briefly and gaze up through the tent roof at the Milky Way, which spans the heavens immediately overhead. The stars are like sparks from a celestial campfire, and yet here we stand, the children of just one spark. Even more amazing, we have the ability to reflect on these immense mysteries so much greater than ourselves." She continues, "Every possibility and potentiality of God's great dream was present in the first sparks of the flaring forth of our universe. The supernova deaths of their ancestors, the first generation stars 10 billion years ago, flung forth all the elements that now from the bedrock of our planet and the bodies that now form the bedrock of our planet and the bodies of all creatures on this earth. The rocks surrounding this little camping ground are the grandchildren of the stars." Will the story continue to unfold? If so, what unguessed-at manifestations of that dream are still locked up inside ourselves? And how will they come to birth? Will they lead to transcendence? Or will they be stillborn? Can we become more than we dare to dream? More fully human, more close to God and to each other? Or does the future spell only extinction? Perhaps the choice is ours.